Hey you guys, welcome back to Lisa and Company, where we do budget-friendly DIY design and decor. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know every time we upload a video. Today I'm taking this sign that I got for free at a yard sale, and we're going to turn it into something really great for my mom using Dollar Tree supplies. I have already given it a coat of Seaside from Fusion Mineral Paint. This is one of my favorite colors. It's a great somewhere between a blue and a green, and I'm going to be dry brushing over it with, of course, my chalked linen white. I've also got this great decal I picked up at, of course, Dollar Tree. You guys know how much I love these decals and how simple it is to make a sign with them. Now at this point, some of the letters are showing through, but I am giving it a lot more white paint, so we don't have to worry about that in the finished product. Alrighty, once I have all this paint on here, I am just about through. All I have to do is peel the decal right off of its packaging and place it down. Now, I don't find these decals stick terribly well, so I always go over it with a coat of Mod Podge. Now, that does a couple of things. It helps secure the decal, as well as where the decal is much shinier. It just gives everything the same tone and comes out really pretty. Today's video is part of a collaboration, so make sure you check out the entire playlist. Myself, Christy, Lisa, and Sherry have created some great blue and white content just for you. Next up, I am using a Dollar Tree charger, which I picked up at the same garage sale, only one of them, but free is free. Now, I did give it a quick coat of spray paint because I find that sticks really well before using my linen white chalk paint, and I still needed 3 coats. Now, again, I'm going to use my Dollar Tree wall decals. So for this one, I'm trying to make it look like a great piece of Spanish pottery. My mom loves everything blue and white, and that stuff is pricey. So I am going to do my best to turn this Dollar Tree charger with some decals and paint into a beautiful piece of decor for her. Hey friends, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps our channel, and Izzy and I are so grateful for your support. Once I have all of these placed on, I want to add a little more detail. These plates have a great beaded edge on them, so I'm going to take a little bit of that Seaside paint and just make them stand out. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go over some of the other edges and write over some of the decals to give it lots of depth and texture. Now, a couple of those spots have a little bit more blue paint than I wanted, so I'm going to go back with my white paint again, right over some of those blue spots and the decals, and I am creating something that I hope looks beautiful and old and expensive. This one's going to look really pretty in her new hutch. I love these little home signs, and I don't mind telling you that when I found them, I picked up quite a few. We're just going to change this up to suit my mom's decor. I am going to take off the twine, but I saved that bead to put back on. And right where it says gather here, well, I have a little something special planned with these Dollar Tree transfers. You guys saw me use them on the truck, and I am head over heels for these. Now I've taken out the P for Polly. You guys have seen me use her initial on things before. And the best part is there is a crown. So I have put the little crown right over the P. Well, I've always said my mom was a bit of a queen bee, so it seems suitable. I'm also taking these leaves, which look great for fall, but I think will look good year round, and putting them on the bottom. These transfers are so easy to use, you guys. Have you picked any up at Dollar Tree? Have you used them yet? Tell me down in the comments if you're head over heels like I am. Now I'm going to use my blue and white IKEA twine right up at the top here, just for a great finishing touch, because I want to add one more of those little transfers, but I need to know where it's going to go first. So I added a little heart at the top because, well, I love my mom. But this is where it gets really fun. Is this one DIY or is it 2? Let me show you what I did here to create this bonus DIY. With a little of my Seaside paint and a couple of snowflakes from Dollar Tree, I have made my first winter DIY. Don't get me wrong, I'm not ready for Christmas yet, but I love me some winter. My mom is gonna love this. It'll look great on her fireplace or maybe even on her tiered tray. This DIY started out as a leftover scrap of wood, and when I saw it, I saw pumpkin. It is actually a part of a 6x6 post that I found, and it was very conveniently cut at about 6 inches. So I did give it a quick sand on the edges. So this is getting a coat of this seaside paint, and now we're going to turn it into a pumpkin. Got a couple of these little stems from Dollar Tree for the first time ever. If you're following me over on Instagram, you will see the day that I found a whole bunch of stuff at my Dollar Tree that I have never seen before. So we're going to go ahead and put those on, and then really simply, it's just going to get a couple of pieces of, well, not greenery, but greenery from Dollar Tree, as well as some of that great blue and white twine again, and some berries, and this pumpkin is on its way to the shelf and ready to go. So I'm curious, are you guys looking for a few more fall videos before we get into Christmas, or are you wanting Christmas videos right away? Make sure you head down to the comments and let me know what you're watching and what you're looking forward to. Love the way this one came out. A little bit different from my mom's traditional blue and white decor, but I think this rustic pumpkin makes a great addition to her decor. All right, now you guys have seen lots of these, and I had this idea, believe it or not, to make a pumpkin out of one of these. I have seen lots of people make cloches by cutting off the top and pulling it all together, and I thought, well, I can probably do that at the bottom as well. So I started off trying to use my pliers to cut this and ended up using garden shears, and that worked so much better. Now I'm going to take a couple of pieces of wire and I am going to cinch the whole top together. Now, pro tip for you guys, wear gloves. I have so many little cuts on my fingers, but check it out. I think it came out really well. And because it's wire, you can just keep molding and shaping this. Now I'm going to add this piece I picked up for $2 from the Habitat for Humanity Restore. It's going to be a little tricky to make it stick, but I'm hoping with some E6000 and some hot glue, it will do the trick. I ended up turning it upside down and just piling a whole bunch of hot glue in there. Now for the top, I have used the ends of one of my foam paint brushes, and I started off putting some of this great wire, beaded wire from Dollar Tree. Then I thought it's just too fussy for this pumpkin, and this pumpkin told me it wanted a bow. So I had just enough of this blue and white ribbon left to make a very simple bow, and a few more of those beads and a leaf left over from another DIY that I think will be just enough. I want to keep it simple, pretty, but simple. I'm going to add a set of Dollar Tree LED twinkle lights in here because I think it's going to look really pretty. Easy to turn on. Because of that hole in the bottom, I was able to slide the power pack right in, and I don't think it shows up too bad. So same thing, this is going to look really pretty on her mantle. I have been waiting to do a blue and white decoupage pumpkin for ages, but I was looking for just the right napkin to do it. So I'm taking my Dollar Tree pumpkin, which I've already painted white, and I'm going to take apart the 3 plies of this napkin to get just the top layer. It's really important that you do that when you're using decoupage, otherwise only the bottom layer will stick. Now, my tip is you want to get rid of all those harsh edges. So I'm actually going to tear the edges off and create little pieces from all of those little hydrangeas and birds. My very first piece is this bird, and I want it to have pride of place on the front of the pumpkin. So I'm going to go around and attach all the other pieces, leaving a little bit of space around this bird. Now to even this out, I am going to use the natural ring that shows up at the top of a Dollar Tree pumpkin and create a circle of white at the top using my linen white chalk paint. Then I'm going to use this piece of grapevine to make the stem. I'm just going to poke a hole right in the middle. That's the beauty of these pumpkins, and pop it right in there. I'll use a tiny bit of hot glue to secure it and make sure it stays in place. For the topper on this one, I have these really pretty blue stems. I got them at Dollar Tree ages ago. So we're just gonna put 3 pieces of that on, and then I'm gonna make a bow, just a small bow, out of this blue and white gingham ribbon that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I'm gonna wrap it around my hand 3 times, snip it off, and then I'm gonna add 1 more piece at the back to act as the tails and tie it together with a piece of wire. Once I've messed around with that for a bit and got that bow looking just how I want it, I'm going to pop it right on top of the pumpkin. This little Dollar Tree bird is super fast and super easy. He's barely even a DIY. I think this fat little guy looks like he's ready to head away to somewhere warm for the winter, so I thought even though you tend to associate birds with spring, he would make a great fall DIY. Now I used one of the candles from Dollar Tree and I spray painted it with the Walmart white paint. Now here's a shock for you. Your 98-cent spray paint in the US, my American friends, well, we pay $4.98 for that in Canada. Now, believe it or not, that's it for this guy. White paint on the bird as well as on the candlestick, and he is good to go. Thank you guys for your support. We are so grateful, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know every time we upload a video. Here's a couple more you might enjoy if you haven't already caught them. Thanks for stopping by, Lisa & Company, and we'll see you next time.